Hello, everyone. Welcome to today, whether you are here with us now or watching this back. Always very excited to have you here and be running one of these amazing masterclasses. So much juiciness. That's why I wanted to kind of just jump straight in. What do I need to tell you today? What do I need to tell you today? On like a personal note, like yesterday, I had a weird sinus thing going on. I'm always a little bit snotty, but sometimes when I get really excited, this whole other thing starts to happen. So anyway, we'll just keep an eye out for that because as I said, it kicked in yesterday while I was teaching a masterclass and I was like, oh my goodness. So anyway, if I get a little bit snotty today, you guys, sorry, like we're all human. We'll deal with it as it arises. So that's probably the the pretense of today. Excuse the snot. Anyway, we're here today to talk about Made for Millions, creating wildly profitable high ticket offers or high ticket businesses that are soul aligned and sell themselves. All right. This literally is probably some of my favorite work that I do with my clients. And I say that because the way that I see what it is that I do is like, my little I say either my psychopathy or my genius, one or the other, is really being a business architect and being able to, look into somebody's business, figure out quite easily, what is and isn't working, and be able to change that in and adapt that and support someone in, making it scalable, right? Because not all businesses are scalable. And we're going to jump into that today. And, making sure that, that we're like upgrading and up-leveling and it's growth-based and it's simplified and it's all of these amazing things. I want you to be living your most fuck yes dream life. It's that simple, right? That is my evil plan is to ensure that you are simply filthy fucking rich, right? Because I truly believe that the more wealth in the hands of good people, the more good is going to happen in the world. And you wouldn't be sitting here today if you weren't already a good human. I simply don't believe that you would be in my realm in one way or another. All righty. So what we need to understand is that, if the assumption going into today is that you are humans of integrity, that you want to do really fucking good things in this world, all right, and that you are going to use your powers for good, not evil, okay, then we can kind of park the service side to the side for a second, all right? Because I know you are service-driven humans. I know that you want to show up and do good things. I know you are people of integrity, and all of that kind of stuff, which means that we get to sit here and talk about the fucking millions, all right? We get to talk about being filthy fucking rich. And, and it is actually okay for you to make impact and income. All right. You're allowed to have it both. And there are certain ways that we do that makes life a lot easier. And there are other ways that we do that will have you in, complete hustle mode. And I don't want that for you. All right. So we are here today to build out your best individual life. All right. Whatever that looks like to you, not me. Okay. Your best life, because we all have different values and things like that. Now, what else do I want to tell you? This event is created off the back of my most recent events that that I ran actually live, our CEO VIP days. All right, our most recent CEO VIP days are both run in Sydney and Gold Coast, and next round we'll be visiting Melbourne as well. In these CEO VIP days, the morning session is kind of a bit similar to this, all right? As in that where, we really unpacked a whole bunch of concepts so that throughout the rest of the day, we were able to, individualize and add specificity to the people who were there, their businesses, their lives, their dreams, all of those kinds of things, all right? So this masterclass, right, is, as I said, very similar to our morning session, which was me talking at everybody, giving context to everything else that we were going to be doing that day. Does that make sense, everyone? So if you happen to be in Gold Coast or Sydney or Melbourne on the next round, I highly recommend that you come along. This is probably a quarter of what we did. And this was very much the me talking at people portion. The rest of it got to be amazing unpacks and masterminds and workshopping and, individuality and specificity. but you guys are getting the theory today, which is actually really exciting because at the end of the day, you know, knowledge is power, and we're able to move forward off the back of today in a more empowered fashion. All right. Making you filthy fucking rich. Like, that's the idea. All righty. So let's jump in. I know what you're thinking. All right. Like, that, you know, that these kinds of events and things like that are really, you know, for the purposes to sell to you and, you know, to sign you up to something that, you know, maybe you're not sure if you want to sign up to or not, or whatever else. All right. So I want to make you a promise. You know, my promise to you is I'm not selling to you today. I'm actually not, you know, today. And neither, for the record, did I sell on the VIP CEO days. They were peer-to-peer support. All right. People being able to be in the room and get the answers that they needed. So today, you know, being based on that, you know, I want to make a promise on the front end. I'm not here to sell to you. All righty. And your promise to me is that we're just going to have some fucking fun. All right. Business gets to be fun. It doesn't have to be all kind of brainy and heady and like, oh my God, and overwhelming all of the time, you know. It actually gets to be fun. And I want you to follow your greatest excitements because, again, we're building out your best life. All righty. So my desire for you off the back of today, all right, is that I simply want to, you know, I want to give you, like, my desire is massive amounts of value. All right. Like, I want to give you, you know, as we did on those days, I want to give you like some of the best pieces that I think are going to help you scale and grow now. All right, not later, now. Okay. So off the back of today, you're going to leave understanding the three big mistakes that I see out there, you know, within the coaching spectrum. All righty. And we're going to solve those mistakes. I want you to understand high ticket selling secrets. All right. Because selling high ticket and selling low ticket, it's completely different. You know, selling low ticket is going to have you hustling for low dollar clients who expect an arm and a leg. And it's a mass numbers model, meaning you are going to need so many more clients just to make, you know, basically ends meet. All right. I don't want that for you. And the other thing that we're going to do today is have you leave with, you know, with a 7-figure business model. Now, let me just add another little thing here. Actually, we might add it. No, right. We'll add it here. I don't mind. All right. If 7 figures and $1 million business isn't your next goalpost. If that feels in your nervous system still completely, you know, ridiculously far away, you know, and you're having some inconsistent months right now, you know, you're trying to lock in, you know, 10 or 20K, like, you know, 40K, 50K, it doesn't actually matter. All right. The sooner in your business that you understand simple business is good business, and the sooner that you actually implement 7-figure business modeling, even if you're at like 0 to 10K now, you know, if we implement 7-figure business modeling, your ability to scale and grow, like, you know, it happens so much quicker. All right. Because you've built good business that is, you know, that you do have the ability to scale and grow. All right. So it doesn't actually matter, you know, if you're trying to lock in $100,000 years, you know, multi 6-figure years, or if you're, you know, pushing for the big 7, it's all good. All right. This is absolutely going to be relevant for you. Now, what you need to understand is that everyone has a high ticket offer like inside of them. Okay. Everyone has a high ticket offer already inside of them. You know, this is maybe one of the biggest things. Like, again, when scaling a business, you know, sometimes we can have a bit of a sticking point around, let's say, 10 to 15K, you know, and we're like, I don't know, like, how can I scale, or what's going on, or, you know, like, why would people even pay me that? You know, whatever that means to you, right? I promise you, from doing this years, you know, like for years and years and years, it generally takes me about 15 minutes or less, you know, to be able to help you birth your high ticket offer. So much so that you will honestly sit there like shocked. You'll just be like, wait, what? Like, I just did that. And it's like, yeah, you fucking did. All right. I promise you, everyone has a high ticket offer inside of them. You know, it's just about drawing it out. All right. Now, the problems that we see showing up in business, you know, full stop, right? And what could already be showing up for you within your coaching business right now is that you're having feast and famine. All right. that, that you have times when you make more money, gets really exciting, there's a bit of an influx or something like that, and then it all dies off again. Like your business may be showing up a little bit seasonal. So there are high times and there are low times, and we don't want that for you, all right? Some of the other symptoms, and the problems that I see is that too many coaches out there are literally reinventing the wheel all of the time. We have 20 different offers for 5 clients, right? Like, and we're hustling constantly thinking, okay, I have to change my content. I need to message on something new. What's something completely different? How can I put another offer out there? What does that look like? How can I adapt for this person? Like, and we end up taking on every man, woman, and child, who has a wallet and a heartbeat. All right. I'm here to tell you, you do not have to reinvent the wheel. And in fact, it's actually counterintuitive for you to do so. It's better to have simple, streamlined business and be messaging on some of the same key things again and again and again, because that's actually what's going to permeate the minds of your most ideal clients. All righty. The other symptoms that I see are trading too much one-on-one time for money. All right, you're trading too much one-on-one time for money, and one-on-one, is it's not scalable business. All right, you can absolutely have it as a portion, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about 7-figure business modeling. But what you need to know and understand for right now is that if you are going to hit an income ceiling, a time ceiling, and an energy ceiling. All right, you're literally going to be able, you are going to cap your scalability and growth. All right, because you simply can't trade any more one-on-one time for money. All right. You are possibly stressed out, burnout, and overwhelmed. Give me a hell yes, in the chat box if you feel like that's you, or if you've been there before in business, right? Stressed out, burnout, and not overwhelmed. As I said, time and energy and income ceiling, and the general thing that I see, and this was me, I feel that from time to time for sure. Yep, stressed out, burnt out, overwhelmed, and again, I always see these things. Some of these things sprinkle into my business as well, but the good news is that I catch them, because now I'm so used to feeling almost like in my own nervous system or energy field, depending on what you believe, if this little piece of misalignment starts creeping in and I'm I can feel it, it's like a little thorn or something in your toe and you're just oh, I can feel that there's something there, whereas in the beginning of my business, it was, there was probably more overwhelmed and stressed and burnt, or I would crash harder or something like that, right? Whereas now it's kind of I just pick it up. I'm something's misaligned in my business. That's interesting. And I know how to almost feel in and be oh, it's that. And then I can change it, to something that feels more amazing and aligned. And that's what I want for you guys as well. All right. And often, how this might be showing up for you, and this is definitely me back in the day, is that the people that I loved most were always getting the worst of me, right? Probably because I was stressed out, burnt out, and overwhelmed, so the people that I loved most were always getting the worst of me, and so we want to break the cycles of all of this. I don't want you to have feast and famine. You do not need to be reinventing the wheel all the time and trading one-on-one time for money. It's simply not scalable, and you will burn yourself out. All right. And then if you're burnt out, and you're a coach, you can't give your clients the best of you, because because there's no spaciousness, or because, you're in scarcity or whatever else it might be. Let me tell you, do you know how much business I'm doing today? 2 things. That's it. I'm here for this, and then I'm recording a podcast, which is a whole lot of fun. All right. And I run, 3 businesses, have a podcast. I'm studying paramedical science. I have a busy existence. All right. In terms of the amount of things that I choose to do, but I run my businesses in such a way, right, where today is a Friday, I've got 2 things on, both of them are mad fun. I love being here and doing this. Right. And so we're able to create that spaciousness so that exactly when that little niggle creeps in and you're oh, something's misaligned, you can nip it in the butt straight away. So what is the solution to all of these symptoms? All right. These things that could be showing up for you right now. The solution simply is creating wildly profitable, high ticket offers that are so good, people simply feel silly saying no. All right. So if you don't know who I am, or this is our first time here together, I just want to give you a little bit of a lowdown as to why I am the human that gets to sit here today. But to be honest with you, this is the least interesting thing we're going to talk about. Like me, my favorite topic. So look, I'm a multimodality health professional. Basically what that means is if there is a qualification, to do with like health and health sciences and behavioral science, I probably have it. I'm an exercise specialist, strength and conditioning coach, sports trainer, a clinical holistic nutritionist, yoga teacher, meditation coach, behavioral science, NLP, hypnosis, psychoneuroimmunology, counseling. Like, as I said, honestly, this just decided to fall off the table. Honestly, like if there's a qualification, I probably have it. And I've, owned and run my own businesses since I was about 19. I've been running $1 million businesses since I was about 19. All right. These days, I am a business mentor and a high ticket offers coach. I love taking what's rolling around in my brain. How do you even remember all of that? Lol. So I actually don't, to be honest with you. It took 3 of us recently, because that is probably a third of my qualifications, and it took 3 of us literally, sitting down and like messaging each other while I was writing things down, being like, "What else am I qualified in?" Like I literally forget all the time, to be honest with you. As I said, I love to study, I love to grow and learn, especially in and around, all of these amazing things to do with coaching, and I've ran very successful coaching businesses singularly, like in all of those fields, which is exactly why now I'm able to, help and support. I have business qualifications. That was the first thing that I did, probably at 19, was put myself through, business college as well. And then, the vehicle just happened to be this amazing thing that we get to do, which is help others. Yeah, I knew I wanted to run business, but what a fucking rewarding business, like we are so lucky as coaches. We get to, I say we are transformational leaders of social enterprise. Do you know what that means? That means we get to transform lives for a living. How awesome is that? What an honor that is to do every single day, right? I literally get goosebumps. Like even now, I've said that sentence, we are transformational leaders of social enterprises. We transform lives for a living. And honestly, you probably can't see, but every single time, all of the hairs on my arms still stand up after years and years of doing this. That's how you're in the right field, right? And so, I love serving others, but I also truly believe that, money is an energy exchange. All right. Which means you get actually, you get to be filthy fucking rich. Impact, right? Helping others and income. Okay. Both of them at the same time. Now, this is my selfish desire. To be honest with you, my mission is to unlock greater human potential in coaches just like you. All right. Because if I'm able to help you with something that's rolling around in my brain, with the information and the genius, that this masterclass is going to teach you today, right? If I can help you with something and you go out there and affect your amazing clients or your family's lives and your own life, then in that regard, my reach is exponential. All right. I don't understand. Thank you, Watch. My reach is exponential, right? And then I'm on mission and I get to do exactly what it is that I want to do every single day. I get to help and support amazing humans just like you. All right. So you get to go out there and be on mission too. All right. How awesome is that? So what I want to ask you, all right, what I want to ask you today is, what would it mean to you and your life and your family's lives and the lives of the people around you if you could have $1 million year? What would that mean to you? Right? What mission would you then be on? My mission, unlock greater human potential, right? The vehicle that I use for that just happens to be, business coaching for amazing next level coaches, right? What would it mean to you and your life and the life of people around you if you had $1 million year? And again, if your nervous system, can't quite catch up to that yet, that's okay. All right. That's actually really normal. If you're sort of like, I'm just trying to get to 100,000 right now, or I'm trying to get to low multi-6 or, multi-6 kind of thing or whatever, you pick the number that is that little bit of a fucking stretch for you. All right. What would it mean if I could make X, X dollars and things like that? Like, what would that then enable? All right. Freedom of choice, freedom of lifestyle, freedom of finances. Like, how amazing does that get to be? So today, I want to help unpack some of that for you. Whatever, whatever that, wherever your, pricing thermostat is at, wherever your money thermostat is at. All right. I want to help support you to find, some clarity so that you can go to those next most amazing levels. All right. So the first thing we're going to jump into is the 3 biggest mistakes I see. Let me just snot at you for a second. Wait, hang on, wait. Without putting lipstick everywhere. Oh my goodness. I think we're going to have the sinus thing happening today. So you're welcome. Get ready. Like here is the, the additional presenter of our masterclass today, my friend, the tissue. So the 3 biggest mistakes that I see. Let me just click some buttons. Okay, cool. I just had a moment where I was like, did I hit the record button? I don't know. Who knows? But we did. We're okay. All right. So the first mistake that I see, all right, write these things down. Number 1, you're being too beige, all right? Ain't nobody got time for a basic bitch. It's that simple, all right? What I see go wrong too often out there in the coaching industry is that honestly, we're just too beige, too basic, and it's a little bit boring, or we're kind of reiterating the same messages as everybody else. All right. So there's mainstream, like you've got to think of it like a spectrum. There is mainstream messaging. All right. Messaging just like everybody else, thinking the same as everybody else, right? Staying really safe, with what you're putting out there. And then the other end of the spectrum is like a fucking crazy bitch, right? And so the sweet spot is somewhere between mainstream and crazy bitch. Okay, because we don't want to go so far out there that we're just like really polarizing and things are just so out of whack and people's nervous systems as well just can't quite pick up what it is that you're saying, and all that kind of thing. All right. So you want to find a sweet spot somewhere in the middle. You need to find your unique voice. What is it that you stand for and what is it that you stand against? And you need to go out there and you need to share your point of view and you need to fucking double down on it. All right. Ain't nobody got time for a basic bitch. It's that simple. Okay. You cannot be beige anymore. And I honestly could sit here on this particular slide for so long. So you have to think about, all right, am I going out there and am I being a little bit mainstream, like maybe messaging on some of the same key points as everybody else, or am I being a little bit nice? Now, look, let me be really clear about this. I very much am not into deliberately polarizing content to get a rise out of people. I'm gonna just take my watch off. She's very chatty and she wants to talk to all of you. So here are our other 2 presenters today: is Sky's Apple Watch and the tissue. And so there is no basic happening here, right? We are probably in the realm of crazy, I think. And so, you've just got to look at your messaging and your marketing and your profiles and, stuff like that, right? Like, are you being too mainstream? People want to gravitate towards somebody who is creating a bit of a movement, somebody who absolutely stands for something, somebody who has a bit of a unique perspective, even if it's about a similar topic. All righty. So for instance, let's say my similar topic is business. I'm a business coach, at heart, I guess, at its core, I am just another business mentor. All right, for coaches, and so we have to take that and go, all right, well, what are the things that I actually really stand for? I want you to be filthy fucking rich. I stand for 7-figure business modeling. I stand to put more wealth in the hands of women. I, high ticket offers, not sort of, anything else. Like, these are the things, as we start to boil it down, that I get on my fucking soapbox and I bring home every single day. Right. And I'm not afraid, just to use myself as an example for a second, I'm not afraid to put out there what it is that I truly believe, for fear of ridicule. Right. Like, there could be somebody that could be helped by something that, you know, you guys are here today because there's something rolling around in my head, and hopefully you'll get something out of that. Who the fuck am I not to show up? Truly, that's what I believe. It's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, it is my moral obligation to show up, right? Because somebody could grab something that changes their life, you know, and then you're able to go out there and transform the lives of the people around you. All right. So you need to stand up and be more you, and you need to find your unique voice. And it's okay, even if it's around a similar topic, that doesn't matter. But what is your unique perspective on that particular thing? And then scream it from the top of a fucking building. All right. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two is you're going for the jugular, right? Too many coaches are out there. They don't have system structures or support in place, and they are going for the jugular. What that means is, you know, this is going for the jugular. If you don't know, your jugular's in here, all right? And what animals do is they literally, you know, like a cat like this, a predator, you know, knows like how, you know, nature, like, fierce, insane, you know, thing it is, like creatures like this understand, okay, well, I could bite them on the leg, but that's not going to be a kill shot, or I could bite them in the tummy, or I could bite them, you know, somewhere else. They know that if they go here, that actually that is, you know, like that's gonna fucking, like, you know, like kill the fucking thing. But we're not beasts, all right? So we need to not go for the jugular. We need to not go for the fucking kill shot, all right? And I know that sounds weird and a bit counterintuitive. What it means is that what we look at is the next most logical step. All right, the next most logical step. So if you're putting posting out there, you know, and you know, you're putting some posting out there, then you might say something like, you know, comment below or DM or reach out. And then when they reach out, you don't go buy my shit. Right? Like you say, you know, you end up chat sequencing them, and you have a bit of a chat with them first. And you know, within integrity, you see if you're able to help them, if you're the right person for them, and if they're the right person for you. And then from that space, maybe then you'll offer them a call, and then you'll jump on the call, and then you'll unpack some things further, and you'll feel into one another even more, you know. And this is how we do high ticket. And then from that phone call, if it is within integrity and alignment, you make an offer. But so many coaches out there are just, you know, DMing, or, you know, or whatever, cold DMing people and being like, buy my shit, sign up to my thing. All right. Like, and it's all wrong. You know, we need to build what's called relationship equity. All right. You need to build relationship equity. Write that down. And so what we do is the next most logical step. Not, you know, trying to, excuse my language, fuck them on the first date. It'll work sometimes, maybe, but overall, you know, it may not, you know, and it comes across a little bit strong. Do we understand that now? So mistake number 3 is you're winging it. All right. You know, it's, what is it? Throwing spaghetti at the wall. All right. This is what I see too many coaches doing. You know, we're winging it in business. Let me tell you, coaching is one skill set, business is another. All right. You could be the best coach in the world out there, you know, like trying to do amazing things. But if nobody knows who you are because you don't understand marketing and lead generation and, you know, and deliverable and all of these different other things, then, you know, no amount of you being the best coach in the world is going to matter because nobody knows who you are. Right? So you need to not wing it. And even with winging it, like, I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense. Like I, you know, I'm super fucking entitled. Let's be honest. I want what I want and I want it now. But the difference is I'm also really willing to work for it, but I still want what I want and I want it now. So why wouldn't I want to collapse time and space by learning from others who have gone before me and by filling in the gaps, you know, of my own knowledge base to get the information that I need, you know, for the purposes of, you know, of my business and therefore my life and my mission and all of those different amazing things. All right. What are the extension of that? And it'll sound really fucking rich coming from me, right? Is that you don't need another qualification. All right. You do not need another coaching qualification. And so many coaches are out there and, you know, again, throwing spaghetti at the wall because they don't really have a system or a 7-figure business model like we're going to talk to you about today. And they're they're what was I going to say? Who knows? It's jumping out of my head. What was I saying, you guys? Somebody catch me up to wherever I'm at. My brain goes like a million miles an hour. Can you tell? Yeah. What was I saying? Let's just all sit here awkwardly until somebody tells me what I was about to say. Nope, that's fine. Business is a thing, not another thing. It feels like it was important. Who knows? You're winging it. There's no system in place. You want to have a system. Sorry, I missed because my AirPods went flat. How dare you? How dare you not keep me aligned with what I was saying? See, we're not about perfection here, right, you guys? I would rather show up, and get it done than be perfect, right? Allow me to be the permission slip for you. Yes, business is one skill set. Coaching is one skill set. Business is another. Absolutely. All right. So you do not need another qualification. That's what we were talking about, you guys. That's what we were talking about. And that is rich coming from me, because obviously, I have about 1 million qualifications. I do those things these days for fun, but what I see too many coaches do, we're back on track. Here we are. What I see, it doesn't count writing it in the chat box after I've said it out loud. I need you beforehand, not after the fact. That's fine. But just in case I forget again. We don't need another qualification. So here's the thing, a lot of coaches are out there going and they're like, okay, well, I've got this qualification and I've put some offers out there and they're not quite, bolstering me enough. Maybe I need to go and get another qualification, and then I'll be able to offer that service as well. And then I can offer this and that. And then maybe I'm going to make some more money. Does this sound familiar, anyone? Like who's been there and done this, right? And to be honest with you, probably somewhere in my past, because of everything that I've done in all of the time and spaces. I'm thinking about it. Yoga. When I studied yoga, I was like, that's going to be another amazing thing. We'll add to the tool belt and then I can go and be a yoga instructor. And I did go and be a yoga instructor for probably about a year or so. And then I was like, okay, I don't really want to do this anymore. I love it and I just didn't want to teach it anymore, but that's a whole other story, right? So I've done this in my own time as well, because that other coaching modality qualification isn't going to fill the gap if you still don't know how to market, if you still don't know how to message, if you don't understand lead generation, if you aren't tracking your figures. And I know these things sound really scary, which is exactly why you need to stop winging it and you need to get yourself some support. All righty. So this is kind of like a little bonus mistake that I see. All righty. Nothing happens in isolation in business. Okay. Nothing should happen in isolation in business. And again, this is what I see go wrong is that, that we're creating like 100 different offers, like I said before, for about 5 different clients. Like there's no actual kind of through line, no product suite, no kind of funneling of your prospects. It's literally like, again, reinventing the wheel. I'm going to create this thing over here. Then I'm going to create that. Then I'll do this thing. Then I'll do another. Then, and this, constant creation of 1 million different ideas means that so much is happening within isolation and nothing should happen in isolation in your business. You need to have a system. And I want to give you one today that is absolutely going to help and support you. All righty. So this is actually one of my clients, Zoe. She had, she had the wrong kind of strategy. She didn't have a system in place. Everything was happening in isolation within her business. All righty. And so what we did was a big diagnostic on her business. As I said, I love being a business architect and really getting in there and, figuring out what's working, what's not working, and making just a few tweaks and adjustments, right? So that, we can obviously get a better result and bring somebody support. So Zoe and I worked together within 7 months. Like we started in May, and by December, we'd made over $300,000 within her business. All right, by just changing and utilizing the exact same 7-figure business model like strategy that we're going to teach you today. All right, we diagnosed what was wrong in a business. We did, the 7-figure business modeling, created her a really streamlined system. Simple business is good business because it's scalable business. All right. And so we'd made over 300K and she retired her partner in December. Right. How awesome is that? and this is not an isolated thing, right? Like this is just one of our clients that we've been able to do, like teach exactly what we're here learning today, and how transformative that actually gets to be. All right. So now I want to give you, if we understand the mistakes, I want to give you 3 high ticket sales secrets. All righty. This is a little bit of a bonus one, actually. I added this in yesterday when I was just kind of thinking about all of this. One of the biggest things that we see in perception around selling high ticket is that somehow selling high ticket is it's harder than selling low ticket. And nothing could be further from the truth. It is actually easier to sell high ticket offers than it is to sell low ticket. All right. The big lie right now is that the economy is all bad. All right. The economy is bad. Nobody has any money. Everybody's having a bit of a struggle and things like that. Right. And there are 3 main kind of positions you can be in the marketplace. There is the bottom of the market. All right. And the bottom of the market, always drops out, right? They're the bottom of the market for a reason, and so why would we target the bottom of the market? The bottom of the market, they do not value what you offer. They generally don't take action on the things that you ask them to do. They expect an arm and a leg. They often are the biggest complainers and the hardest work, right? And they expect, like your firstborn child or something like that. Okay. They do not prioritize whatever your coaching is, and as I said, they're generally more likely to complain and want a refund, and they're going to leave, and then they are fucking hard work. Who's ever had clients like that have been really fucking hard work? You did them an amazing deal and an offer because you wanted to get them on board and you wanted to help them, and then you end up fucking hustling for some kind of low dollar client, right? The middle of the market, is where in times of economic uncertainty, and we're in a little bit of time of economic uncertainty, the middle of the market, literally has uncertainty. All right. It gets a little bit wobbly, whether they want to make a decision or not make a decision. It's that kind of a thing. All right. Now, the middle of the market, they prioritize things a little bit more. But as we said, if there is a time of economic uncertainty, then the middle of the market feels the uncertainty. Whereas the top of the market is business as usual. Right? The top of the market is business as usual. These are the people who have the, disposable income and the money, to be able to spend with you. They highly prioritize, what it is that you're offering. They do the work and take the actions based on what you say. They have balls in the game because they've put real money down to get them a result. All right. Now, the interesting thing is, although we think of the market like this, lower, middle, and upper market, what's really interesting is that it's a little bit like this, because there are equal amounts of people all the way across the market. There are equal amounts of people. There are equal amounts of people that are in the lower market, equal amounts of people in the middle, and equal amounts of people, in the top market. So why the fuck would we not target the upper market, the people who actually have the money and, highly desire what it is that you're doing and are going to take the actions based on the things that you say, and they want to spend that money and, because they've got it there, right? And so again, far too often coaches are hustling for low dollar clients, and we're going to look at value in a second as one of the high ticket offer secrets. But what I want to tell you is, that value is so much more than throwing in the kitchen sink. And actually, as you move up the market, generally the people in the upper market, they actually need less. You don't have to give them an arm and a leg and your firstborn child. A piece of information might be all that they need, that they then go and action that completely transforms their life. All right. So why wouldn't you target those people? It makes no sense. It is actually easier. And this is part of the big lie. It is easier to sell to high ticket. All right. And often what we see coaches do is have a race to the bottom. Okay, because we continue to discount because we're not messaging correctly and we're already aiming for the lower market. And then we're like, fuck, and nobody's buying. So I should probably reduce my price even more, to try and get some people over the line, which then actually makes it harder. If you are competing based on price, it is literally a race to the bottom. All right. So it's so much better if we understand how to target people who actually have the money to be able to spend, and it all becomes so much easier. All right. Oh my God. Yes. This is so how I have been in the past, right? A race to the bottom. We're like, what else can I throw in? What more can I give them? Would they like a kidney with that? Right. And then we're like, and how can I discount this even more? And it's just because our perception is a little bit out of whack. All right. And so now what we can understand is it's actually easier to sell to like high ticket people. And in fact, there are the same amount of people up there to be able to sell to. There's no less. So why would we simply not change our messaging, up our prices, and make sure that we're targeting the appropriate people? All righty. So that was kind of like additional high ticket secret. Was that useful, you guys? I thought I'd throw that one in as well, because it's really important. Because I know one of the biggest things I hear when I speak to coaches is they're like, well, why would somebody pay that? Or it feels like, it's going to be harder to sell and have to ask for a bigger price. But once your nervous system catches up, it's actually fucking easier, because people say yes so much more. All righty. So this is cash flow quadrants. This is technically secret number 1. All right. We're going to breeze through these secrets because I really want to get to the 7-figure business modeling for you. All righty. So who's seen this before? Some of you may have seen this. This is from Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And this is called cash flow quadrants. So basically what this says is that 5% of the world's wealth, all right, is in 95% of the population's hands. 5%, tiniest bit of the world's wealth, is in 95% of the population's hands, which means that 95%, the big dollars, are in 5%, 95% of the world's wealth is in 5% of the population's hands. So let's have a little bit of a look. Who makes up the 95% of the population? 95% of the population are employees, all right, where, your income is capped. You're working for somebody else. You have to ask permission to be able to go on a holiday. Your holidays are then capped. I honestly, like, my partner's an employee. He's a very well-paid employee, but he does work for, for a private corporation. And I actually forget, quite often that he has to ask permission to be able to go away or something, because I don't have to do that, and I haven't had to do that in years. And so I'm off flying around doing all these different things, and I have to understand that he's only going to be able to come to 50% of those things or less. And so I go travel and do a little bit by myself, because I want to be able to move around like all the time, like each month I'm probably in a different state at least, right? Whereas he has to ask permission, fuck that, right? So employees, and then self-employed. So what's self-employed? Self-employed is basically you work in and for your own business, but basically you're like an employee of it. You don't have freedom of time or freedom of finances, freedom of location, you're probably wearing all of the hats. You may not have additional support, and you're looking at your business from kind of like a sole trader, right? SOLE, sole trader, perspective, versus like an operational organizational hat. All right. So the biggest jump that you'll have to make within your business and life, as an entrepreneur, is the jump where you go from being self-employed and looking, being the jack of all trades, wearing all of the hats in your business. And you make that jump to actually understand you're a fucking CEO of a company, and you need to start looking at your business as an organization or an operational hat. Okay. Because 5% of the world's population are business owners, entrepreneurs, people who get that they are the CEO, and are comfortable with that, right? And or investors. Okay. They have 95% of the world's wealth. So where do you want to sit? Right? Like, we want to be part of the 5%, and the fact that you're even sitting here today, it is already giving you that boost, to jump into being part of that top 5%. All right. You've got to be able to make the leap from simply being almost like a slave to your own business. That's the only difference sometimes for people, is that they've gone from working in somebody else's business to now working in their own, and they just end up being a slave to their own business. I don't want you to be a slave, right? Like, I want you to have that freedom of time, freedom of finances, freedom of energy, freedom of choice, freedom of lifestyle, right? And to do that, you have to pull your big girl pants on, pull them up, right? Dust the crown up, put it back on your head, and realize that you're a fucking CEO of an organization. And now you need to start upskilling yourself in a way that is around operations, that is leadership based. All right. Somebody said, I love working in my business at the moment, but I love having a team member to help me where I lack skills and desire to waste time. It's a really good point that you make there, Katie. The first sentence, Katie says, I love working in my business at the moment. We never want to take away like the portions. Like, don't think of being a CEO like as, you're sitting in a boardroom and you're directing everybody else to go out there and do all the work. It's actually not about that. It's about future-proofing your business in a way that if you did want to go on a holiday and you are stepping out of your business, that your business will keep running and it actually continues to make money even without you. But the most important thing in and around your business is actually keeping you in your joy, fun, play, pleasure, passion. Whatever is your genius and you love doing, we keep you in that, following your greatest excitement, because part of being the CEO is also being the visionary, right? We can interchange those words. And the visionary holds the vision for the whole organization. What is it that we want? How do we want to help people? Like, what are we really excited about? What does that look like? That's what the visionary does. And then, as you said, Katie, you get to then have team like a VA or something like that. I said I'm not going to sell to you. If you guys need a VA, just reach out. All right. Then and you can delegate some of those things that absolutely, like you said, Katie, that like are maybe not your first love or aren't in your skill set. All right. I still do the most of the heavy lifting within my own business, things like, one-on-one coaching, masterclass calls and stuff like this, group coaching, answering questions in the community group and things, because that's me of service. That's me and my joy and my love. Right. And so we would never want to take that away. For context, I'm excited to have the time to be here today. Yes. And Kenny's doing all the social media. Excellent. And emailing 100%. Right. Like, it's such a win-win, because you get to upskill and up level your, existence. Well, that somebody else is like holding the fort down. I'm away in about a week or so, I'm going away for 2 weeks, and I have the intention of switching off predominantly for, all of that time. And I'm so lucky that, my businesses are well built, that, that they're going to be supported, and that they're going to, continue running, and that we are future proofed, and, that we still have dollars coming in. Like, you are a slave to your business, everyone. You are still in self-employed. If this is a symptom, if if you're living week to week, and if you took next week off, you would not get paid. All right. If you took next week off, would you get paid or not? All right. And if the answer is no, I wouldn't get paid, like I would have to switch off everyone's contracts, nothing would happen, dollars wouldn't come in, then that you're still in the self-employed. You're not in the, CEO, operations, business person hat yet. All right. And so the idea now is to understand this, and, and where you're at, there's never any judgment. All right. I didn't understand this stuff at the beginning of my business either, And so we take where we're at and we're like, oh, okay, from now I need to start forward thinking. I need to think about future proofing. I need to think like, in my business, we have what we call backups on backups, right? So if I'm down and out for the count, right, how do we serve our clients? If I'm down and out for the count, like, how do we continue to make sales? Right. And we have a system around that. So new dollars, not only do we continue to make money, but we actually still have the capacity to be able to bring new dollars in, even if I'm not the front person of my business for a moment. All right. If I'm like sick for a week, or, want to go on holiday or something like that. So we need to future proof every area of your business. Right. And then then you have true freedom. Okay. Freedom of choice, freedom of lifestyle, freedom of finances, freedom of location. All righty. So Secret number 2, it's easier to sell high ticket. Gosh, we already covered that a little bit, didn't we? People value it more, all right? You don't have to twist their arm to get them to sign up. Who's ever had that in like a sales conversation or something like that, where you just feel like you're in complete convince mode, and it almost like feels a little bit desperate by accident. Like maybe it's not even that you're desperate, it's just that the energy that the conversation has gone, this sales conversation, is you feel like you're kind of in this convince mode, to try to get this person over the fucking line, right? That's lower market stuff. That happens down here. You don't have to convince people up here. They've probably already jumped on the phone with you, like the human brain is an amazing thing. And it's so interesting. I was just thinking about this before when I was like, my partner and I this afternoon want to go to our favorite kind of afternoon, Friday afternoon. I guess it's like it's a bar. It has delicious food, and we just kind of sit there and chill in the sun, and it's so relaxing, and it's such a beautiful day today. So we kind of get these like associations. As soon as it's a beautiful sunny day, we're so ready to take Friday afternoon off and just go and sit and eat beautiful food and, and enjoy and celebrate life, right? And so I'm going to totally forget what I was talking about. Twisting their arm. I knew that I would do that. Give me 1 second. Wow, we're doing this a lot today. What was I talking about, everyone? Other than me having my afternoon off. Can you see that maybe I need this afternoon off? Like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Our brains. And so I was sitting there in the mirror because I was thinking about this afternoon, and I was like, oh my God, isn't that so funny? Because I noticed that I started to justify why it was okay for us to do that this afternoon. And I was like, here's a reason, and here's another reason, and here's another reason, Sky, because our brain actually wants to convince us, yes, not having to twist arms, right? Our brain actually loves to convince us into the things that we already want. All right. And so upper market, they actually already want the thing. You don't have to convince them into anything. All right. They already want the thing. So their brain, like I was doing before in the mirror, is already convincing them into, like the different reasons why they want to sign up to your thing and why it's going to be transformative for them. Right. Like, and generally at the lower end of the market, their brain is in scarcity. And so their brain is actually, in fact, convincing them into all the reasons they should not do the thing. All right. So our brain is amazing at convincing us into the thing that we already think to be true one way or another. People down here are already bought into their own scarcity, to sometimes victim mentality, to uncertainty, to calling bullshit that your thing is even going to help them anyway. They've tried a million things before. The common denominator is actually them. It's that kind of stuff. And so their brain is fine-tuned to finding the pathways, right, of why they should not do the thing. Whereas on the high ticket end of things, these people have done a million things before and have gotten results and, and are totally bought into personal development and the different layers of the onion. And so their brains are fine-tuned to, more like a growth mindset, to put it in other terms. And so their brains are already more likely to convince them into doing your thing, right? And so it makes it even less hard work. You don't have to be in convince mode or energy trying to pull them over the line, or discount yourself so much that they make it there. All right. They have the money to spend, as we spoke about before. They prioritize your coaching, and they generally take up, less time and energy. My coaches these days, literally, I might see my coach, like once a fortnight or something like that, for about an hour, and that's it. We don't get like anything else on top of that. And I pay her, like an arm and a leg, right? Because at the level you take that one piece and you take it and you action it, and it makes all the difference, and and transformation occurs. Okay. It's actually easier, the higher up the ladder we go. Have I convinced you into high ticket offers yet? So the third secret that's really important is this. All right. It looks very complicated. You're welcome. Take a photo. All right. Send me the photo. So this is called the value equation. All right. And basically, for all the mess that is there, what you need to understand is that value does not come from adding in the kitchen sink. And if we've dealt with the lower end of the market for too long, we're constantly thinking about, fuck, how could I throw in something else? What does that then look like? And we, again, it's like arm and a leg, the kitchen sink, your firstborn child, right? Like, then we're discounting it and all these different things. Like it just becomes a smutty kind of mess. And as we said before, a race to the bottom. All right. Value does not come from throwing in additional things. All right. Value comes from you being able to increase the perceived likelihood of somebody achieving their goals by them coming and joining you, while decreasing the time, energy, and effort. That's value. So if you're able to take that information and go out there and market to the marketplace, the higher end people who actually want to buy what you're offering and have the money to do so, if you can increase the perceived likelihood of them being able to achieve their goal, if they come and join you, awesome, they're more likely to achieve the thing that they want to achieve. Right. And if you're able to decrease the time, energy, and effort, that's value. All right. Notice how I didn't say the kitchen sink in there. Like, make sure you give them more, add in extra features. How can you give them one-on-one time and group time and a group community and a free chat and and then like in a meal plan and a this and a that, increase the perceived likelihood, right, of them achieving their goal. If you can communicate to them, in an effective way that they are more likely to achieve their goal by them coming and joining you, right, while decreasing how much time, energy, and effort they will need to put in. We all want what we want, and we want it now. It's not just me, all right? And so if you could support somebody, this is why we want the magic pill for weight loss. If we could just lose weight, give me the fucking magic pill. I want to decrease the time, energy, and effort. Right? And if I could just take the magic pill, and the likelihood of me achieving my goal is so much greater. Okay. We want what we want and we want it now. So if we know that and we can message based on that, and it's based in integrity as well, that your offering can in fact help these people, to achieve their goal and save them time and energy, that's value. That's value. All right. Is this making sense, everyone? So this is Beck. All right. Beck had a lot of limiting beliefs in herself when we were working together, like a lot, a session with her, like we worked together one-on-one for about 12 weeks and before she came and joined another program. But initially, in the first 12 weeks, literally every single session, like we were crying, because I was crying with her, to be honest with you, like it was an amazing time in the middle of lockdown. And and it was beautiful and it was transformative and it was like moving. And what I loved about Beck was that even when she sat there, in absolute tears, she would still take action anyway, right? Because the reason she was crying was, as I said, all the limiting beliefs, all the reasons why she wasn't going to have the success, all of the fear of judgment, the fear of failure, all of these different kinds of things. All righty. And so, she, and so she was deep in it. Within 6 weeks, we were able to, bring on board, it was about 24 clients, which then gave her $124,000 plus, all right, within 6 weeks of working together. All right, sit in fear and take action anyway. And when you've got the right system, we created her signature program and her MRR, and you're about to learn 7-figure business modeling and exactly what those two things mean. All right, sit in fear and do it anyway, because when you've got a simple system that is proven and works, you can only but get the results. All right, $124,000 in under 6 weeks. Amazing, right? So who is ready? Do we have any questions on any of those secrets or anything like that? Because we are now going to jump into 7-figure business modeling. And yeah, which is super exciting. This is like brain breaking stuff. 7-figure business modeling. Thank you, tissue. Huh. And Apple Watch, do you have anything you'd like to say? All right. Well, let me just get out my trusty little drawery thing so we are good to go. Whee. Okay. So this is what's called your Empire Suite. All right. Like, and you can draw something like this as well. I highly recommend you do. Let's just see where, okay, that's the bottom corner. Let's turn this around. Okay. So this is your Empire Suite. All right. This is 7-figure business modeling. This is how, like messy business is not scalable business. All right. Simple business is scalable business. Not only that, it's going to give you the time, freedom, the spaciousness, the family time, them getting the best of you, all of these different things. All right. If we keep it simple, it is scalable. You're going to make more money and, and you're going to have more success along the way as well. So we're going to start here at 1 with this middle level. All right. This is a funnel. Okay. And when we're talking about these things as well, let me add one more thing. What we're talking about is one-to-many approach, not one-to-one. All right. I will talk to you about one-to-one in a minute, but what I want you to understand just first and foremost is this is like one-to-many, which means like this is kind of group containers and things like that for coaches. So at this level, you want to create some kind of signature program. Let me just move the chat box for a second. It's in the wrong spot on my computer. All right. So this is some form of signature program. All right. It might be something like, like 8 weeks. All right. Like an 8-week signature program. It could be a 10-week, could be a 12-week, but it's what we call an A to B journey. Okay. And it's fixed. All right. So what does all that mean? So a signature program basically is like, how can we pull like the best out of you? Like, what is it that you love and you want to teach on, and how do you want to help people and all of those amazing things? All right. And we create some kind of maybe like, as we said, an 8-week program or something around that. Okay. An A to B journey means literally we want to get your clients like fast action results. All right. Start here, end here, A to B journey. All right. If you come and join this program, this is the result that you're going to get. Okay. And it's fixed, which means that, like the A to B journey, it's like, week 1, we're going to do this. Week 2, we'll do this. Week 3, we're doing this. Week 4, A to B journey. If you do this, plus this, plus this, plus this, it's going to equal that. All right. It's going to equal this outcome. Okay. So creating some kind of beautiful signature program, that is really birthed of you, to take your most ideal clients on a beautiful, amazing journey. All righty. Does that make sense, everyone? The second piece to your business suite or business modeling, and let me tell you, this is something that, look, I'm going to talk to you guys today just about a bit of an opportunity, like to help support you with this, okay? Because, each of us individually, like even though this is 7-figure business modeling, it's going to sit a little bit different with all of us, all right? And so in that regard, I want it to be specific and individualized to you. So please understand the theory of the concept, and then let's have a conversation about, specificity for you as an individual, because we want to make it work for you and in your life. All right. So you're going to create some kind of signature program. Then down here, we have what we call MRR, monthly reoccurring revenue program. So this is something that's more like 6 months to, 1 year. All right. It's more like a mentorship, which means that it's actually like, full of variety. That's not meant to be an I, everyone. That just is a little extra thing that happened. All right. So here's the thing, you guys. Like, I actually really love like creation energy, and I love variety and change, and, and I learn new things, and I want to bring that to my most amazing clients and, all this kind of stuff. All right. So the problem with that, the challenge with loving a lot of variety is that how that used to show up in my business was that I would often try to blow things up because I'd be like, all right, I want to reinvent the wheel. I want to create something new. I'm just in flow and I love creation or whatever. But there are certain amounts of your business that you actually want to be fixed, and other parts where you're able to channel your desire and need for variety and things like that. All right. So an MRR program is your place to be able to do that, where you get to, come, and it's a beautiful co-creation with your amazing, soul tribe and things along those lines. It is also like a deep dive version of this. All right. So remember how we said nothing happens in isolation in business? So the idea with this is that we're moving people through a funnel. All right. So they can come and join your signature program. And we're going to do some maths on this in a moment to show you how you can make dollars. They can come and join the signature program. Then off the back of the signature program, people are primed and ready to buy. They want to know what is the next best step for them. And so then you're able to bring them down here and offer them, your whatever it might be, 6-month journey or something like that, deeper dive. Because trust me, you can't do everything at the signature program level. Let me give an example. Like the signature program A to B journey, you want fast action wins for them. Come and get a result. Something you might not do at a signature program level, and I just pick random things, is like, let's unpack your childhood trauma, like let's work through, like those kinds of things. You may not do that at the signature program level because you're building relationship equity, you're building trust, you're building the ability to be vulnerable in a safe space. And sometimes it can happen in 8 weeks, absolutely. But the signature program is more like at a it's not surface level, but it's like not quite beginner. I'm trying to think of a better word. It's fundamental stuff. It's foundational things for whatever your modality or the thing that you want to teach. This is a foundational kind of level. It doesn't have to be beginner. There is a difference. But it's like, let me teach you these concepts. Then when they come and join your MRR, it's like, awesome. Let's now that we have shared language and a shared understanding, let's unpack these things at an even deeper level. Alrighty, so that's what MRR is. It gets to channel your variety. Now, what happens at the top up here? This is like your lead generation, and we call them fishing rods. All right, the fishing rods are in the water. Too many coaches, another mistake I see is that we sit on the beach. Basically, we have a net, we want to go fishing, we have a net, we sit on the beach, with the net just sitting there, and we hope that somehow the fish are just going to jump in the net. And nothing could be further from the truth. It's not the fish's responsibility to jump into your net while you sit there on the beach. You have to go out there, grab a bunch of fishing rods, get into your boat, go into the middle of the ocean, right? And put all of those fishing rods in the water. And that could be posts, right? That could be an event that you're running. That could be emails. All right. That could be, like a challenge. All right. Something like that. It's like, what are my fishing rods? What's in the water? A podcast. All righty. Like how, YouTube, like all of these different things. How am I going fishing so that we can gain, leads? And then we do the next most logical step, like we spoke about before. We might chat to them first. Then, we chat to them first. Then we jump on a call. Then if it's within integrity, we make an offer. All right. Now, the amazing thing about making offers is that you can then sell somebody here into your signature program. No drama. All right. But you could also actually sell somebody straight down here into your MRR if you feel that maybe they don't need things at this level. Maybe you give them access to these masterclasses or whatever as well anyway, but they might need this level of support, something a bit more fluid and, like co-creation and they want a longer journey across time and space. They've done a lot of work before, things like that. All righty. So now the last thing that I want to say here is that one-on-one, all right, time is your greatest commodity, not money. Time is your greatest commodity. So your one-on-one time needs to be charged at the highest commodity within your business. All righty. This business model we've got, happening here, right? Like this 7-figure business modeling where it's like lead generation, fishing rods in the water. We triage people. We can offer them into our signature program or an MRR. This is scalable business. Trading more one-on-one time for money is not scalable business. So at any one time, you may only have 3 to 5 one-on-one clients, and they need to be paying you, equal, if not more, than your MRR. All right. Now, let me say one more thing why monthly reoccurring revenue is actually like, the bee's knees, the most important thing you could possibly do in your business. No, I'm going to save that actually for the next slide. Does this all make sense, everyone? I know that it's a scribble mess, but does this all make sense, everyone? Any questions around this? So your one-on-one sits outside of this overall model. You want to create a simple business that is in line with 7-figure business modeling, and we figure out what that is for you. You can still have one-on-one. I'm not trying to take that away from you, but you've got to understand, and I'm going to show you in the next slide, like why we might, one-on-one, you being your highest commodity, you want to make sure you're charging a one-on-one price. I have a few one-on-one clients, and again, they charge the highest, dollars to spend that time with me, because otherwise they could just jump into the group program at an MRR level and still be getting, the same, if not more, in one way or another. All right. But then MRR, is what we call leveraged time. All right. Leveraged time. No drama, no drama. So let's talk about the dollars in this. All right. What are the dollars, that are happening here? So this is our signature program. Let's say, for instance, we're charging, and I'm just going to use really easy dollars just to make it make sense. But I actually truly believe you should be charging more than this, but I'm just going to use simple dollars. So we're charging this, we're charging $1,000 for our 8 weeks program. All right. And we're going to run it 4 times per year. And 10 people are going to join each time, which equals 40 people across the year. All right. 40 times $1,000 is what? It's $40,000. So another mistake that I see is that too many coaches are rinse and repeating at this level. They're like, I'll run a program. It can go for 10 weeks. And then later on, I'll run another one. And then, maybe I'll change it up and, this and that. If all we're doing is 8 to 10 week programs, all right, this is it. This is your year. Who's ever been stuck there where you're literally, making maybe 40K a year or something like that? Alrighty. Now, if we're looking down here, we'll take the 40K, but if we're looking down here at the MRR level, right, there's something called a conversion rate. And a conversion rate says that within the coaching industry, for every 10 people that we have within a program, or for every 10 people that we talk to, 2 to 4 people are going to sign up. Okay. So if we've got 40 people here, all right, we know that 2 to 4 people are going to sign up to our MRR program. All right, because our conversion rate says so. So that's approximately 16 people. All right, 16 people. Now, let's say people are paying 10K for an entire year with you down here at this level. And they literally will, because for every 10 people here, we've got 40, 4 people are going to sign up and come and join your MRR. We're going to charge $10,000 for that. That equals $160,000. That is a lot. There we go. $160,000. So do we understand now why long-term stackable wealth, financial safety and security happens at this level here? It doesn't happen up here. All right. And far too often, as I said, what I see go wrong is that coaches are just doing this level, reinventing the wheel all the time and just creating another 8 week, and then maybe running another one or something like that. We're capped. We're never going to make the money that we want to make. Whereas at this level, we can charge more, we can serve people, in a longer, more equitable time frame, really bringing them that like deep dive, beautiful result. All right. And we're going to be able to charge more for it. All right. So that as an entire year equals a $200,000 year. Pretty awesome, isn't it? Now, a story I haven't told you guys yet is that a few years ago, a few years ago, I got really sick. All right. I make it known, like everybody knows, I have MS. It's really, it's generally not a big deal. And I'm very well because I choose to look after myself very well. I know what my demon is. All right. I know that I have to ensure my own best health because I don't want to trigger something like that. But a couple of years ago, something triggered, my MS, and I ended up being sick for about 3 months. Now, 3 months in a business is a really long period of time. All right. Now, at that time, because I knew my demon, what I had done was future-proofed my business, meaning that, I knew that we had backups on backups. So I looked after client promises. I showed up for the people that I already had. We still had new dollars coming in as well. And because I was running, monthly reoccurring revenue programs, at the time that this occurred, I knew that at a minimum, I had like on average about $30,000 coming in every single month for the next 15 months in advance without me having to do anything else. All right. That is future-proofing your business. That is, financial safety and security. That is leveraged time. That is scalable business. All right. As I said, I'm lucky. I know, what my demon is. And it's made me have to be really, creative and really thoughtful about the life that I actually want to build for myself. And too many coaches, go year after year in scarcity and hustle. And if they take time off, then they don't get paid. So they just never take any time off. I don't want that for you. And it simply doesn't have to be that way. Right? You can run a completely, equitable, soul aligned, amazing business, right? While you're, filthy fucking rich, making shit tons of money, more than the average person, absolutely, and know that you are safe and secure. All right? Because at the end of the day, and look, we never wish anything, bad upon anybody, of course, but we're all humans. We all have families and partners and children and things like that. So you're almost guaranteed that something, and maybe it's not negative. Maybe, your child, becomes part of an amazing sports team and you have to travel around for a couple of weeks or something like that. Maybe you just want to go on a holiday. Right? You want to future-proof your business in a way like this, where the dollars, big dollars, are going to continue to roll in regardless of anything else that is going on. All right? True financial security and stackable wealth. Because then, it is simply dollars upon dollars upon dollars. Now, these are very reserved figures that I've put here today. All right? $1,000 for an 8-week. Like, some of your nervous systems might not be ready for that. But I promise you, when we're talking about high ticket offers, that's low, and so that's our starting point. All righty. And so, if you're thinking in your head, oh my gosh, but my clients just won't pay that, maybe your clients won't. But I promise you, there are clients that will. And that doesn't mean that we don't serve some of the people that you already have, know, and love. However, like if you want to build out like a fuck yes dream life, the sooner that we implement something like this, the faster it is going to happen. All right. Somebody's saying hashtag goals, like in the chat box. Right. And so, we often also, another mistake, I'm giving you all of the mistakes. The other mistake that I see is we think that this is somehow some future thing, something to work towards. No, you fucking start doing it now. That's how it works. The only way to get there is by implementing the stuff that we are learning today, by implementing it tomorrow. All right. This is not something you have to wait for. There is no rite of passage here where you need to slog it out and be in suffering and scarcity, or anything like that for any longer. All righty. This is something we can literally seamlessly, put into your business straight away. And you are already, like I said, Beck, you saw Beck within 6 weeks, we'd made $124,000, right? This is Dana. Okay. Dana came and, came and started working with us as well. She was time poor and she felt like she didn't have a very big audience. And she's probably right. She didn't have a very big audience when she started with us. All right. We implemented 7-figure business strategy, the exact thing I just taught you guys now, and something else that we call our hand raiser post. this beautifully crafted, wording. She put that out there. She got over 70, connections from somebody who had no audience at all, right? And within weeks, in 2 weeks, in a fortnight, she'd made $46,000, all right, and had a $50,000 month. That was within weeks of working with us. She'd already had a $46,000 fortnight, right? Like, this is how easy it gets to be. We've got another client at the moment, Claire, who I just spoke to. This is why I'm thinking about it. I spoke to just a couple of days ago. Literally, she's been working with us 2 weeks, and she is on track to have the biggest month in business she has ever had, ever. Like, not even close. Right. And I was like, oh my God, has it only been 2 weeks? Because it just feels crazy to me, so because we've done, so much amazing stuff, and here is the result. Right. So you do not have to suffer any longer. This is not some rite of passage where you have to wait, or it's, I'll do that when, or I'll implement it a little bit later, or let's wait until next year and then I can get that happening. It's like, this is something that we can do right now and get you this level of amazing results. Right. So why the fuck would we want to do that? Now, I said to you just before, right, that it's one thing to understand 7-figure business strategy. It's another thing to implement it within your specific business. All right. Like, because I don't want you to think that there's no cookie cutters here. Okay. We can understand 7-figure business modeling, and then we see what it is that you're doing in your own business, what it is that you love. How can we tweak that? What's already working and great. And we take those pieces and we just kind of, implement them a little bit, so that, you do have this beautiful, flowing system. All right. Because right now you might feel like you've got a bunch of different moving parts, and we want to streamline that so that it is scalable now. All right. So that you're able to call in those big bucks now, that you don't have to wait. All right. So for everyone that did our CEO VIP day, as I said, this information, that we're unpacking right now, was our first session in the morning. It was about an hour and a half, like we're kind of doing today. And then we spend the rest of the day, individualizing it and specifying it to them and their business. So off the back of today, my offer actually is to you that I want to offer you guys like an integration call, where we're actually able to take the information that we're learning today and help you make it make sense, for your business and your life. All right. In that call, we're going to discuss your high ticket offers suite. All right. Your empire suite and your personal pathway to success. What are the next, we call them either intentional priorities, which are basically your next big action steps, which are your next best right moves. Okay. We're going to create you a customized plan. All right. And how best you are going to be able to monetize the information off the back of today. Because at the end of the day, look, my work isn't done. Let me see if that's the next slide. I may have put it in here. No, the way that I see it is that my work isn't done off the back of today. Giving you guys the knowledge and the understanding of these things is only a part of it. But if you're not able to take that knowledge and actually implement it within your business and your life, I'm not unlocking any greater human potential. So I'm not on mission by leaving you off the back of today and that be the end of it. All right. So for selfish reasons, this is my gift to you. We offer you these calls so that you're able to actually take the information without any cookie cutters and implement it within your business and your life. All right. Because here's the thing. This is what is on, this is what's on the line. All right. The opportunity is a dream life by design, not by default. Okay. And there are 4 things that are simply standing in your way right now. Okay. The first is the right vehicle. Now, obviously, you've all been sitting here today listening to this, and we've just given you 7-figure business modeling, you guys. We are giving you the vehicle that guarantees your success. If you choose to show up and put in the work, right, then, not all business models are made the same. Some business models are going to have you hustling for low-dollar clients, right? And that's why I say these are the secrets of the big 7-figure business owners, because they fucking get it. And so the sooner that we can implement these strategies in your business and your life, this is the vehicle to your success. And we just get to pick, the modality or the you know, the theme, you know, I love business. So I'm lucky and I love serving people and I love coaching. And so I get to pick those things that I love, you know, and build a business around that. And the same for you. You have a unique message that you want to get out there, and we get to build, you know, the appropriate vehicle around that that is going to get you seen and heard. All right. The next most important thing is putting you in the right environment. What's amazing is that you're already here listening to this. That's a big tick as well. So we've got the vehicle now, you know, and I am honestly one of your biggest cheer squads. Like, I want you to be filthy fucking rich. If you're not hanging around other people who are holding you to that standard, you know, who hold the belief in you even when your belief is faltering, right? Then you are not in the right environments, my friend. You know, there is one surefire way to hack yourself. And as I said, to hold you to a higher standard. And that's by putting yourself in the room and in communities and things like that, that hold you to that higher standard. All righty. Now, the next, you know, most important thing, the opportunity for you to have a dream life by design, not by default, is the right timing. The right timing was a year ago, but seeing as we're only landing here together now, you know, the right timing is now. All right. That's why I say this is not something that you want to implement or think that, you know, oh, well, I'll just wait until, you know, and then I'll implement the 7-figure business modeling thing Sky talked about. It's like, no, the right timing is now. All right. Or the right timing was a year ago, but maybe you're only just learning about this now. So now, you know, is the next most amazing, you know, right time. And the other greatest thing that is the most important piece for a life by design, not by default, is the right you. All right, the right you. And as I said a minute ago, the greatest way to hack yourself, you know, so that you get the best out of you, is actually to put yourself in the right environment. Because when you're in the right environments, that's when you're going to be able to get yourself the most amazing next level success. All righty. There's only two things standing in your way right now. The first one is fear, all right, and worthiness issues and things like that, right? And as we said a second ago, the right environment. You know, like, I love putting myself, like, you know, I have some amazing next level friends that I'm like, I feel like I'm the cute one. Like, it's like, that's cute that they let me hang out with them. Like, oh my God, you know, because like, they are so amazing and so next level and so transformative and so putting themselves out there every single day that you can only then hold yourself to a higher standard as well. Like, your new minimum standard, like, you put a line in the sand, right? And I also ensure that I am in containers so that when I'm unsure or when I don't know what I'm meant to do, or my belief or my motivation or whatever it might be is faltering, again, I can't bring this home enough, that the environments, like, imagine trying to lose weight and your partner is like not not supportive, you know, and eating all this crappy food and drinking and not exercising. Do you think you're going to have the weight loss success that you're after? Probably not, right? But if you were hanging around amazing people who were holding you up and who also did other amazing healthy things and love to go train and, you know, do all this sort of stuff, your ability to succeed is going to increase tenfold. All right. And so we just simply need to step through the fear, because I promise you, on the other side of fear is exactly where the magic happens. Because at the end of the day, you can't be annoyed at the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. All right. And I see so many coaches out there, you know, they put a post out, it doesn't get any traction, they get upset, you know, because they make it about them. You know, we've all probably done that as well. And then they don't do any work for the next 2 weeks because they're down a rabbit hole of non-worthiness or something like that. This is not how to succeed at business. All right. You cannot be annoyed at the work you didn't, you know, the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. And the biggest piece I see in the people that I know that succeed is that it's not that they don't have meltdowns, and it's not that they don't have moments that they falter or fear or things like that. It's just the turnaround time is so much faster. They pick that crown up, they dust the motherfucker off, they put it back on their head, and they keep going. All right. And they keep going until, and that's how you know that they are going to succeed. All right. So I said to you before, my mission is to unlock greater human potential in coaches just like you. Today, much like the CEO VIP day, you know, is only one portion of it. This is the theory. right? I want to help you put this into action so that you can get the results like Zoe, like Dana, like Beck, like Claire, and like so many more coaches that we've been able to help across time and space. All righty. So that is it from me today. Give me your biggest takeaways. What has been the thing that has resonated with you the most? All right. What is the thing that has resonated with you the most? I want to hear your biggest takeaway off the back of today. All righty. Sit in fear and take action anyway. It's so, so, so important. And honestly, that is one of the, the biggest secrets to success that I've seen is that the people who are out there succeeding, it's not that they don't have fear and it's not that, we don't have meltdowns. I melt down all the time, right? But the turnaround time is so much faster, right? It's so much faster being solution focused, finding the answers, trying something new, putting ourselves out there, not hiding in the background of our business, and not having this extended period of time and space. Like action is happening so much faster, and action precedes clarity. All right. So if you're sitting there waiting for the right time or the perfect idea or any of those kinds of things, it's never going to eventuate, and you're just going to your time is just going to, go away. All right. There is no time like the present. The next takeaway is surround yourself with next level people. All right. If you want to call in next level you, surround yourself with next level people who hold you to a higher standard. Absolutely. That's another big one. Awesome, you guys. You've been amazing. I hope that's been super helpful. Obviously, if you're wanting to lock down an integration call, I have very restricted time next week, I am afraid. So please jump in quickly if that's something that you're wanting to do, so we can line you up with myself, or with Sarah, who is my amazing next level, coach partner in crime when it comes to all things scaling your business. She literally comes from multi-7, multi-8-figure business and sales and things like that. We are so lucky to have her as part of our team. And so we want to help you. I spoke to Sarah off the back of today, as we said, you guys being able to connect in and and us being able to, help support you, no cookie cutters, and take you to that next level result. All righty. So much love to you all. And I will see you in the community group. Bye, 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 bye.